Don't judge me. I just wish he knew. That's just like you.
Well, it's the big slow. It's the big slow, man. I'm feeling it. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? Man, it's the 6-man combo live here Thursday afternoon. I'm your host on the 6MK Live channel, K Styles, aka Mr. 100 Step Strike, May. And riding shotgun with me this evening, as you already know, it is Mad Mike Sports, aka the Senator.
Yeah.
While you playing, I was watching Enter Dragon last night, so yes, that was my shit right there.
I was just watching it. That's why.
He did. Don't think. Feel. It's like a finger pointed away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory. You understand? You hit that motherfucker in the head. He said, never take your eyes off your opponent, even when you bow. Which plays right into this conversation we having tonight, because what we saw on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon with the Carolina Panthers is the Falcons took their eyes off their opponent. But
I like that.
Hey, you know, like I said, you the freestyle king. Like I said, I know how to build off that too. Now, like I said, we do what we do around here. So before we start the show, man, we got a few people in here we're gonna show some love to. Like I said, we got Silk Legacy in the building, MVM 1978. We got A137 Sauce, that's family of mine. Robert Ponda. We got Fresh in the building. We like you said, under Atlanta Falcon Nation LLC, you know that anime crazy ass. So like I said, shout out to man, ATL Leo, Keyshawn Vlad. We got Carl Thomas. I wish I never met her at all, even though I love her so. We got Strapped Up 24, we got Jay Black, we got Mucho, and we got the Young Knight in the building. So, as we know, today's episode, as you see the title, it is Raheem Morris versus Ike Hilliard, Zack Robinson versus Michael Penix Jr. So, before we get started with the show, we want to definitely give some condolences because we've had a RIP situation happen just earlier this week. As you already know, former Bengals running back Rudy Johnson had just recently passed. Like I said, RIP to him and his family. 45 years old, man.
Yeah, it's another CTE situation.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, when you understand, like I said, football, we love the game of football. We love sports and stuff. But when you're dealing with a lot of physical contact, it's a lot of toll that comes with this. And like you said, unfortunately, like you said, we see another football player going off this earth, man. So, like I said, I just wanted to give that quick condolences to the Johnson family. As and all that. We got Auntie Pam in here. Yeah, Auntie Pam is in the building. But as you already seen, I already said the title of the show, Mike. If you want your Mad Mike Minute, this is your opportunity. Do you want to say it with the church, or how you want to do this?
Well, I was informed by a very close friend of ours, and this very close friend of ours has stated that he believes to be an issue where he's pointing the finger at a certain guy on this particular screen.
Okay. So you want to put some sad confessional music on right quick, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So this guy on this particular screen doesn't have the skin of said Hershey bar. And we're not talking about the white chocolate. We're not talking about the dark chocolate. We're talking about the milk chocolate. And this said person who got in touch with me seems to think said milk chocolate bar is the reason why the dark chocolate Hershey bar is no longer available for sale. And the dark chocolate guy is saying to himself, why did I go wrong? Was I too delicious? Was I too dark? Was I too what? Was I just too much? Was I too desirable? And the milk chocolate said, yeah, sir, you are a little bit too dark and you're a little bit too desirable. So we got the smiling kiss up top, decided that he wants to say to the white chocolate, I hear what you're saying, brother. The dark chocolate is a little bit too dark and a little bit too popular right now. So the milk chocolate decides, he said, all right, guy, we got to get rid of you and you got to go. So the dark chocolate is no longer available for sale. Do you understand what the brother man is trying to say, K Styles, my brother? Do you understand, sir?
I understand, my brother. Preach on, man. I'm sitting here with a couple tears in my eyes, man. Like I said, man, go and preach on the word, my brother.
So, what I'm here to explain and expand on today, we're gonna do this the right way. Because we gotta stand up for the brother man. We gotta stand up for the dark chocolate. Because the dark chocolate, it gets the job done.
Wait a minute. You said stand up for the dark chocolate. You know we gotta switch the music up, right?
Yeah, we gotta stand up for the dark chocolate. What you got in mind, brother?
All right, there you go.
Whoa. I don't even know where to go with this. Where we go from here? Wakanda forever
All right. All right, brother Mike, go ahead and preach us with the word.
So the brother man, from this point on, in order to give us what we need, we gotta stand up for the brother man and stand up for what's right. And what's right is we need our voice heard. We need to speak up for the brother man. And we cannot allow, excuse me, brother man, because the brother man is not privileged to the education that the milk chocolate has been given, who has been gifted. I wasn't gifted the opportunities that the milk chocolate has been given. So we gotta stand up for the dark chocolate. Do you hear me, brother?
I hear you, brother. Wakanda. I hear you, brother.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Brother man. Amen. Boom. And I am done, sir. If there's anything you got to say, brother man, I am allowing you to take the mic, take the stage, and speak on the behalf of your fellow brother.
All right, before we speak on our fellow brother, like I said, make sure if you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the 6MK live channel. Hit them notifications. As you see at the bottom of the screen, we got the IG 6MK live. We got the Cash App $sign 6man K Styles. Also, OX just 6MK. Now, as we look at this situation here, my brother, before we get to it, we have Jamarius, Mr. 5'8" in the building. Make sure you go ahead. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his channel as he gives his pre-game and post-game thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons as well.
Yes, sir.
Now, we're going to start with the first matchup, which is Raheem Morris versus Ike Hilliard. As you already know, Mr. Ike Hilliard was recently fired after the Falcons-Panthers game. Do you hear me, my brother?
I hear you, my brother.
And a lot of things that's been going on here this week it's a lot of conspiracies and a lot of scapegoating going around.
You
my
brother. Inform me. Talk, brother.
As you already know, my brother, Mr. Ike Hilliard, who was the wide receivers coach for the Atlanta Falcons, was recently let go on the Atlanta Falcons and was replaced by who?
No milk chocolate. No brother man that's not from the brother.
Mr. TJ Yates has replaced Mr. Ike Hilliard as the wide receivers coach, which he was previously the quarterbacks coach and ironically the pass game coordinator, in which the pass game is the subject of all this scrutiny going on in the land of Wakanda.
Wakanda forever. Damn.
Now, Brother Mike, as I pass the mic on to you, how do you feel about this situation that just transpired where a brother man fired a brother man for the white man?
I feel as though that the brother man who has right now has betrayed his other brother on behalf of the not so brother man. And what's concerning to me, brother K Styles,
yes, sir,
is that he didn't even give you a real reason.
What was the reason that he gave, Brother Mike? Inform the people. Inform me.
This brother Negro told us, the world, that it was simple as a bottle of water just as simple as a bottle of water. You probably thinking to yourself, Brother Mike, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's just as simple as a bottle of water? Well, this brother told us that it was simply, what can it say? Simply production based. Huh? How did that make any damn sense? How is it that this is production based when you hired another brother? You hired the brother who did well in the first place, and then in the second year, things are not going so bad, not going so well. You brought in another not so brother man and put him in the place of the brother man.
Come
That
on,
is
my
deeply
brother.
concerning.
Come on, my brother. That's not how we do things around here, man. You don't replace the brother man with the white man. You don't do that.
We can't do that, K-Style. We got to preserve. We have to preserve our culture, brother.
If we don't preserve our culture, if we realize this, that Raheem Morris, the milk chocolate brother, had replaced a brother last year with another milk chocolate brother, or as we say, the milk call. He fired a brother for the white man on the defensive side, and now he did it for the same thing in the wide receiver room. Can holler if you feel me?
I'm hollering. Yay! I hear you, brother man. What is interesting to me, he fired two black brothers. Do you hear me? And he hired a white man. He hired a white man. This is two white men that done took over the black man's job.
And this is supposed to be the black man that's supposed to represent the culture of the Atlanta Falcons, per Falcon fans. Holla, 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 holla. Holla, 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 holla.
Sam don't know what to do, y'all.
As y'all have witnessed the hotel portion of the show, let's go ahead and get right into the reality of what this whole situation is. Like I said,
it's a reason why we did it that way, y'all. It's a reason why we did it.
Exactly. And it wasn't planned, y'all. That was on the fly.
You fired Sammy Davis Jr. and gave Jerry Lewis a job.
and his little brother, okay?
No. So let's go ahead and be for real here. Like I said, man, that's one of the trending topics that's going on right now in the Atlanta Falcon organization is Ike Hilliard being fired as the wide receiver head coach after 3 games, and you have a lot of people that is in a upheaval on this. Like you said, and if you hadn't watched Mr. Wide Network earlier, he talked about this as far as Ike Hilliard being a wide receiver coach for a wide receiver room that pretty much damn near had 3 1,000-yard receivers last year. And we got a lot of offensive struggles. I read it like I said, it's a struggle based on the fact that it's not a lot of touchdown production from that room in itself. But offensively, we averaging 330 yards a game the first 3 games of the season.
Yes.
So since we got the OG in here, I want him to go ahead and reiterate in your mindset as a guy who is a historian of the game and a guy that has knowledge of certain aspects of it. In your mindset, what do you feel about
what changed from one year to the next year that prompted this move to go on?
Well, in realization, we're just watching a new episode of the Yes Man following the Yes Man.
Explain to the people why you say that, man.
Well, that's what Raheem and Zack Robinson is. One yes man following another yes man.
Oh wow!
Now, you look. We have this. This is a serious case of you're trying to recreate something that you established in Los Angeles, and Michael Penix Jr. is not Matthew Stafford.
Keep on going, my brother. Keep going, brother.
He's a 6-game rookie, not a 12-year vet. All right, you can't call the same plays. You can't set that same precedent for this quarterback. And to make Ike Hilliard the situational scapegoat for more than likely speaking his mind on dead situation, because that's the only thing that could actually explain this firing. When you give the passing game coordinator the job as the wide receivers coach, Ike Hilliard, who probably had maybe 20% of the input on the game plan, if that. The guy who's closer to making, being involved in the game plan, one TJ Yates, should probably, if you was gonna fire somebody, should have been the one that got fired. I hear you. In charge of said receiver room had 3 guys out of that receiver room, who 2 of which had 1,000-yard receiver, and 1 was close to having 1,000 yards. And we're talking, and we're standing in the microphone hollering about this was a production-based move. Well, if that's the case, you, Zack Robinson, and TJ Yates should be unemployed right now.
So Sam, so my question to you is this, and Mike, you can kind of chime in on this too, is what do you believe was the biggest difference between 2024 and 2025 so far, in which what prompted this?
Homer Simpson being Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson being Homer Simpson, that is true. But like I said, from the person that I had a conversation with, they seem to believe that a lot of this is centered around 2 people. One, Zack Robinson. There are a couple of things, and someone hit me up on my Instagram, and I asked them to watch the show, that there's been some talk that Zack Robinson is being considered for the job at Oklahoma State. And this is like the second or third person that I done heard this from. Des Bryant put out a tweet that said, Oklahoma State, let's make Zack Robinson the head coach. Now, why would Des Bryant say this if it wasn't for any truth? It wasn't any truth behind this. So why would Zack Robinson have an issue with Ike Hilliard And why would the Atlanta Falcons make TJ Yates the offensive coordinator? I'm not offensive coordinator, but why would they make him the wide receiver coach? Well, it's my belief that the offensive coordinator, they need to be able to teach this system quick, fast, in a hurry. Because they know for a fact that Zack Robinson is as close to getting the fuck up out of here than what we know. There's an unspoken language right now. And a lot of people are starting to talk about Zack Robinson. So y'all take that for y'all take that. You can stand on that, Kev, but for what I'm hearing from this person is that a lot of people pointing the finger at Zack Robinson for reasons that's not necessary. And I'm gonna just say it like this before Sam get to it. I believe Zack Robinson is kind of not really giving the Falcons his 100%.
Wait a minute. Whoa. So you're pretty much saying that Zack Robinson may potentially pull a Bobby Petrino?
I think he pulled a Bobby Petrino. It may not be the season, but I don't think he's giving the Falcons his 100% time.
Hold on. Before Sam goes, let me get this comment. He said, I guess the problem, all he did last year, did not start wide receivers, a 1,200, 9-touchdown wide receiver, a 1,000-yard receiver, and a slot receiver who was mainly a kick returner. Well, yeah, he had more than 700. He had about 800 last year himself. So, yeah, that's
There's a bigger issue. All the receivers was fine last year, but why would Ike say this year after 3 games? Why would not Ike, but why would he say Ike is the problem and Raheem say Ike is the problem if this year they're putting up pretty good numbers? It's not great, but they putting up numbers offensively. They're getting yards, so it's production based. But it wasn't. You don't think this same guy that got those big numbers, that helped get those big numbers last year, is incapable? This is deeper than just numbers, and I think a lot of this knows. I think Raheem knows Zack is out of here, so he's trying to find the quickest possible way to kind of get somebody prepared.
If you're on a job and you're moving like you're already at the door, that could be a problem. That could be problematic. You're moving like you're at the door and you're not, giving, specifics, or you're not putting all stated game plans or information where there need to be. Yeah, that could be a problem. And that might have been what triggered Ike to probably go ham and it lead to somebody being escorted out of the door. I mean, if that is the case, if your foot is already at the door, then you need to be already gone.
I have another theory that goes into that situation in itself with Ike Hilliard. Like I said, okay, this is where my brain is kind of thinking on this, is with the past accomplishments and with the expectations that came into this, for you to get rid of a position coach who doesn't really have as much power as the main coaches, and he gets replaced by a guy who was the quarterback coach and now is the quarterback coach and the pass game coordinator. It sounds like to me that there was some kind of disagreement or something that went on in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
it sound like Ike Hilliard done cuss somebody the fuck out.
Yep.
Yeah, without question.
And,
Before
and
you say it, kid, I want to
go
say
ahead.
this is the reason why I say what I said about I about Zack Robinson and TJ Yates, and it's for what Kev just said. So so kind of piece it together. This is the reason why Raheem decided that Ike had to go for this very reason.
Yeah.
So because if he knows that Zach is pretty much out the door, he know his ass is grass. Because is he really as smart of a coach offensively? Can he really put all this together? Can Raheem do that? Can he develop a quarterback? I don't think so. That's not his expertise. So he know his ass is grass. So if a guy like Ike Hilliard is going at the one guy that he needs to come in to help develop Michael Penix, guess who he's going to choose?
He's going to choose the guy that helps him the most or benefits him the most. And that is Zack Robinson. But I have a very interesting theory on this. And like I said, I already said, like I said, we got 83 people in here. Like I said, if you haven't hit that like button, make sure you gotta go hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead, definitely subscribe. The sudden move of this, and you have a lot of media pundits and you have a lot of former players coming out and giving their thoughts on that situation in itself. And a lot of people are pretty much talking about, well, this kind of doesn't make any sense. I have a different theory on here. And this theory right here, I'm gonna piece it together because this is what's going to tie Raheem Morris to the mindset of what Dan Quinn was down here, which kind of led to a lot of turmoil too. There's one player on this Falcon team who's been acting real different this year. This is just my observation, so y'all can take it with a grain of salt. I don't give a damn, but this is what I see. Your boy Drake London has not been acting like himself here so far this season. And the energy that he's put out as far as these first 3 games has been very different than what it was the previous year and the year since he's been here. I have a feeling, this is just my opinion on this, I have a feeling that Ike Hilliard and Drake London were the 2 guys that got into it in the locker room. Because think about it. Who's dropped the ball the most in these first 3 games?
Who is it?
Right. In the Minnesota game, who fumbled the ball on a big reception play that cost them a drive?
Drizzy. Yeah.
In which, in the offensive side of the ball that game, after that fumble, he didn't see another touch until literally 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we possibly say that this is a possible situation where we're seeing the Dan Quinn Julio Jones dynamic playing itself all over again, but this time it's Raheem Morris and Drake London?
And he was there. He was there with Julio, so he was one of the main ones that was showing Julio that favoritism because he was in the wide receiver room, y'all.
And Ike old school now.
Uh-huh.
This is an
Ike
old school
old school.
guy.
And remember who his coach was on the Giants now.
He played for the Bucks and he
Remember?
played for the Giants.
Tom,
Yeah,
Tom
Tom
Coughlin.
Coughlin. No nonsense coach.
So
Because
yeah,
because I'm thinking of it like this. If we look at the Falcons, and this is what, and like I said, this is going to tie in to the other verses too. Let's look at it this way. One of the biggest things that came into the 2025 season was, can Drake London replicate or exceed the 2024 season where he had over 100 catches, almost 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns? Because the thing about it was those numbers put him in a category where you had a lot of Falcon media, a lot of Falcon fans thinking that he was going to get the extension coming up here soon, rather it be in the middle of the season or at the end of the season.
yeah.
And what ended up happening so far this season is you getting a lot of drops. You're not, and per numbers, even last year's numbers where Drake had his best year, he was rated as one of the worst wide receivers as far as separation in the league. And like you said, you look at this year, the very first game, he had 2 key drops. He had about 2-3 key drops. Second game, he had 2 drops and a fumble. Third game, he had a couple drops too. And the body language of Drake London was not positive at all. Because there's been a situation where Ike Hilliard looked at the body language of a Drake London and said, motherfucker, you need to get your shit straight.
Yeah.
And Raheem may have looked at that as, oh no, this is one of our star players. No, you need to get the fuck up out the room.
Xavier, he comes from Bill Parcells.
And Night Westford talking about conspiracy Falcon Thursday. I mean, like I said, you know what they always say about conspiracy theories? They always have some semblance of the truth.
I mean, when you do addition by subtraction, hey, when you take out everything out of the equation, you take out all the possibilities, and only the impossible remains. What do you have? You look at it, you strip everything down, be butt naked, and you look at that factoid. And Ike is old school. He came from Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin came from Bill Parcells. Okay, you know, and that old school, in your face, cut it down, uncut, no chase ass motherfucker, get your ass right.
But then you also have to think about what Ike Hilliard. Ike Hilliard is also a guy who was coached by Raheem in Tampa Bay. He was also, like I say, he was also around Raheem Morris in Tampa Bay in Ike Hilliard's final years in the league. And that's another thing. This is another aspect where you look like you have a guy that you groomed, that you brought in, that you that got fired. Now, I want everybody that's watching this to think about this for a second. How is it? And this is why Mike, this is why Sam, this is why a lot of people over here, the Unholy Alliance, kind of have the side eye when it comes to Raheem Morris. How is it that more people that he brought in was fired over guys that were brought in by Arthur Smith? because this, like I said, this is the 6-man combo, but this is also an STS moment too. So, like I said, this is why we're doing it this way. Like I said, I'm gonna be honest, and like I said, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, the fire, like I said, some people may say, okay, y'all overreacted on the position coach getting fired. But when you have a lot of former players looking at this situation as it doesn't make sense, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Uh-huh.
And you got to think a lot of these football players are like a fraternity. They're going to be looking at certain situations like this. And like I said, in just my opinion, this is almost like a situation where Ike Hilliard probably he cussed Drake London ass out. Drake London didn't like it. Raheem Morris didn't like it, so they had to get rid of him. That's my theory on it. Fellas, how y'all feel about that?
You have a little something there. You have a little something there.
Because Drake London is starting to show a little glimpse of that diva in him. That he's starting to show a little glimpse of that diva now. I don't know. I'm getting that. I'm getting that vibe. Like I said, I could be wrong, but that diva wide receiver tendency is starting to rear his head just a tad bit. Fellas, what y'all think about that?
Yeah. You know, you possibly have folks around you. Yeah, man. You top dog. You know what I'm saying? Your numbers show that, so you should have some kind of say some type of stuff probably going on because we don't necessarily know if there's a entourage, so to speak. You know what I'm saying with him. You know, or somebody other than maybe his agent. You know, especially with it being a contractual type situation. I mean, there's a lot to unpack right there.
Mm.
You know,
And here's the second question that I have to answer. We're gonna go right into the Zack Robinson, Michael Penix part of it. Let me ask y'all a question. Between 2024 and 2025, where we literally had a passing offense that literally was one of the best in the league. Going into 2025, we have a passing offense that's ranked 19th in the league, but it looks very pedestrian compared to last year. What do you think? In y'all opinion, what do y'all think is the biggest difference as to why the fall off is right here and where a lot of people are kind of pissed off about it? Hold on, Cartier said, reminds me when Kellen Winslow Jr. and Josh Freeman had issues with whack ass Greg Schiano, who Mark Dominant was our GM. He said, gotta go.
right.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So what do y'all think was the what do y'all think changed? In your opinion, what do you think that changed?
Well, I mean, Drake he's not having a start to what's supposed to be a productive contract year, you know, and then you have your coach to jump probably two feet off in the yard. I mean, you've had more drops and turnovers than you've had catches and touchdowns. That is a fact.
Oh,
That is a fact.
oh,
And then you combine that with our young rookie quarterback having his worst game to date. You
oh.
know, like I said this morning with me and Mike, the boy threw the ball with 35, 36, 37 times, and of them 37 attempts, I only saw 3 good passes out of him Sunday.
Oh.
You know, you toss that in the mix, and along with bad decision making with the play calling, You know, there's a lot to unpack. You can throw, you know what I'm saying, substantial blame around the horn, you know, no execution, no good executive decision making, you know, and all around. And then for you to get in front of a microphone and say, you know, for it to be said, what we practiced was not the game plan that came out in that game. You know, there need to be questions.
Yeah, because the purpose of this show, is not is to open the box and think of a lot of different possibilities as the reasons why a lot of this stuff. Because the thing about it is the Atlanta Falcons already go through every offseason with some type of damn drama. Like I said, this is really one of the few times where we've seen drama already kick off in the regular season and early in the regular season. And we ain't talking about the hotel community being mad at Matt Ryan for being the quarterback. No, this is some internal shit right now that is like really look like it's really, really affecting the morale of the team. And the thing, and like you said, the thing about it is, if you look at how the team has performed the first 3 games, you got to think about this for a second. The Falcons faced a Tampa Bay team who was predicated on stopping the run, which allowed the pass game to be effective enough, in which Michael Penix, Junebug, passed almost 300 yards and a touchdown. Game 2, they decided to take away the pass, but they decided to stick with the run game because the run game was working well, in which Bijan literally sat here with almost 180 purpose yards, almost 200 all-purpose yards. Hold on. We got one more person coming in here. Dan, what's going on, man?
I didn't mean to join the live. I just want to be backstage.
You want to be backstage? All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I ain't trying to disrupt y'all show. My bad.
Oh no, you good. All right, look, they know you here. So, like I said, I'll let you be backstage right quick. Like I said, if you feel like you need to add into it, like I said, you're welcome to join us.
All right.
But my mindset when it comes to Raheem and the Ike situation, if you know Ike Hilliard and what his career is, the type of guy he is, he will cuss you the fuck out if you piss him off.
Yeah. He's a tough coach.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin, he's coached a lot of these guys. He's coached a lot of good Pierre Garçon, so many wide receivers across the league.
What was it? Mike Evans? Mike Evans is another one he held. Yeah. Now,
so he knows what he's doing.
All right. Now, let's go on to the other aspect of today's show, and that is and the reason why I'm doing this is because I have a final question for the end of the show that I want to ask that's going to actually kind of tie all this together. Zack Robinson is the other question is Zack Robinson as the offensive coordinator holding back Michael Penix from reaching his full potential? Because the thing is, we look at, like I said, if we go back from 2024 to 2025, one of the biggest differences in the offense that I will say, the biggest thing that I see is they, like I said, they are using Kyle Pitts as a tight end instead of a weapon or as a flex wide receiver. And you can tell the difference in the offense because a lot of the guys, in my eyes, look kind of lost without Kyle Pitts clearing a lot of shit for them. That's one of the biggest differences that I've seen in this offense. Like I said, if you look at last year's offense, outside of Kirk Cousins' experience versus Penix experience, they use Kyle Pitts in a lot of those deep corner routes and those seam routes to clear a lot of stuff for a Drake London to take away the attention from a Darnell Mooney, to open stuff up for a Ray McLeod. And what I've seen so far this season is because they are using Kyle Pitts in the position that he's supposed to be now, which is a tight end. And Sam, you have said this on a multitude of occasions. Kyle Pitts is right now playing well in his position as a tight end. But what it is because he's playing in that position, a lot of the wide receivers are suffering because they don't have – what they did was they took Kyle Pitts away from being that deep threat, and they haven't found nobody to replace it. That's the difference that I see in this season.
Well, from a petty standpoint, Kyle Pitts is being productive. They did clamor for Pitts to be more productive. You are getting that at the expense of what Mike was saying all last year. At the expense of the receivers, in part, not getting their numbers.
Right. Hey, got Cartier here talking about Raheem acting like a kid on Christmas. MPJ is that great toy you've been wanting all year. Finally got it. Now you don't know how to use it on building. And let's be real. Michael Penix Jr. is Terry Fontenot's guy. Kirk Cousins is Raheem's guy. And the reason why I say that Michael Penix is Terry Fontenot's guys because the Falcons sent their whole entire scout team to the University of Washington in 2025.
Yep.
The whole scout team, everybody, even the baby mama that don't exist.
You're stupid.
I'm just saying. You say your entire scout team to one place does letting you know who you looking at the most.
Yeah. And did.
Now, as looking at the game footage from this past game against Carolina, like I said, I'm not going to absolve. I'm not going to give criticism to Michael. I'm not going to not give criticism to Michael Penix because Michael Penix missed quite a few throws in that game that could have helped him a lot too. There was a multitude of throws that just said lack of confidence in what the hell was going on. But this is what I'm going to say here. Every quarterback is going to have a game like that. So for the goofy, stupid motherfuckers that's sitting here talking about that Michael Penix is a bust and he can't do this and can't do that, sit your stupid ass down somewhere because at the end of the day, quarterbacks are going to have bad games.
We've been here before.
We done seen this. We done seen this with Matt Ryan. We done seen this with Desmond Ritter. We done seen this with Mariota. We done seen this with Kirk Cousins for 5 games. We done seen this with Taylor Hines. The last 5 years, we literally seen these type of games from every damn quarterback that was under center. Nigga, we seen this shit with Logan Woodside. So y'all need to sit y'all sensitive asses down and let this boy goddamn be who he need to be. And for those that don't believe me when I say that people already calling the bus, go on Twitter. They calling them bus right now, just on that game. And I'm sitting here looking like, boy, y'all done lost y'all damn mind.
Yeah.
Hey, Cardi, I'm gonna have that coming up here soon. Like I said, I gotta find that picture again. But my thing is, and this is what and I'm gonna let Mike take over on this. I'm gonna just say this last thing. If you see your quarterback struggling, or you see him have a mental, if he looks like he's mentally shot, this is where Raheem, Raheem, as the head coach, has to recognize that his quarterback is mentally shot, and as the overseer, let everybody else know, okay, he's not feeling it right now. We gotta do something to get him back in rhythm, and we gotta do something to get this team back into the flow of things. I'm gonna land my plane on there. Mike, you got the flow.
Well, Don,
Oh, wait, hold on. All right, Don, get your ass in here. What you got to say, man?
I know y'all talked about Ike Hilliard, right?
Uh-huh.
And I like to draw parallel lines as comparisons. What Raheem did with Ike is the same kind of thing that Dan Quinn did to Richard Smith after that 2016 season. Y'all remember what happened, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
He blamed the defense on Richard Smith. And part of it, yeah, but one thing about Richard Smith, he knew how to develop linebackers. He knew how to develop pass rushers. He did it in Denver. Right. With Von Miller. Like, Von Miller was a Pro Bowler under Richard Smith. But when y'all mentioned Ike Hilliard, all the receivers he developed, which is true. But one thing that Dan Quinn and Raheem Morris have in common, they don't like when their coaches, I guess, I ain't gonna say rebel, because it's not a rebellion. It's everybody has their own philosophy. So if their philosophy doesn't line up with theirs, and if any little small inconvenience come up, hint losing games like this, they the ones going to be thrown under the bus. Have y'all ever noticed that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I seen that. Yep.
So, like I said, with the situation with Ike, I didn't really talk about it for real this week. I just been really busy. But I knew, like I said, we said this in the chat, I knew somebody was going to be a scapegoat. I didn't think it was going to be Ike. And the move, you moving Yates back to receiver coach, I'm like, so what we doing? We going back to 2023 again, 2022? Because I remember when Yates was the wide receiver coach for us, our receivers were not good. But
so to add to that, looking at both of the guys that are currently the wide receiver coach and offensive coordinator, they have a lot in common. Both of these guys were quarterback, assistant quarterback coaches, and wide receiver coaches, both TJ Yates and Zack Robinson. So I believe this to be one of the things where their philosophies didn't align. He was very vocal about it, and they just got him the hell up out of here. I think Zack Robinson and Raheem conspired for this. They said that they can't work under these circumstances because he opposes, or he's putting it in these wide receivers' ears that he's not certain that this philosophy is going to work, or he just may have not said anything to the players, and it's quite possible. But he's been vocal to these guys about the philosophy is the best for these players right now, in particular his wide receivers.
Right.
Because the wide receivers are not like I said, with the obsession of Darnell Mooney, I'll give him a pass. He's been, dealing with a shoulder injury, but the wide receivers just haven't. They're the people that they are confident in is guys like David Seals. Like Seals has been in the league for a minute. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the league for a minute. Drake, Kyle, of course. You got Ray, and you got I think that's it. But most of the guys that they have on at the wide receiving core, these guys have been in the league, and they know how the league is supposed to be. And as a receiver, you just supposed to shut the fuck up and do what you told.
Because the reason why this whole situation is interesting is you fired the wide receiver coach and replaced him with the pass game coordinator that y'all motherfuckers complained about.
That part. It don't make any. It really don't make any sense. It's just like McDonald's. Like McDonald's. All right. All the fries be getting overcooked and they not get salted. Instead of you firing the fry guy, you firing the person that's making the drink. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
No, we got you. We got you on that.
It don't make sense. It's like you firing the wide receivers coach when the passing game in itself is a problem. The quarterback is struggling.
The Yates is the passing game coordinator. People gotta understand his job is the liaison between the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and the receivers. That person, the pass game coordinator, ties all that in together.
Yes, that's his job. So there had to be a disagreement between these three guys.
Which begs the question. You're moving the pass game coordinator to the wide receiver room, in which the wide receiver. You got to think about it. Drake London is averaging under 10 yards per reception. Darnell Mooney is barely at 10 yards per reception. Really, as of right now, your whole entire wide receiver room is averaging less than 11 yards per reception.
It's not good. The average is about 12 for a wide receiver, a starting wide receiver.
So when you have that situation going on, is they're moving the pass game coordinator closer to the wide receiver. Maybe the wide receivers may be having a problem with how the things are going. Maybe the wide receivers are not understanding or not connecting with Penix right now, because Penix is a young guy. And you got to think about it. He's a young guy who is a left-handed quarterback. And remember, Roddy White has always said it's harder for the average wide receiver to adjust to a left-handed quarterback than it is to a right-handed quarterback, because that is the norm.
Right.
But at the same time, Mike and Sam said it earlier in their lives earlier. You have a quarterback who is a multi-dimensional quarterback. Yes, his mindset is more pocket than really moving around. But when you have a guy like a Michael Penix who is maybe struggling, because you got to think about it, in that Carolina game, they didn't move him around at all.
Nope.
They didn't move him at all.
They didn't move the run game either.
Right. So what? So like I said, this is why I asked the question about Zack Robinson. Like I said, let me put a fact out here, and I'm gonna let y'all chime in on this. That the news that came out was Zack Robinson was going to be going from the booth to the field this upcoming game, right? This is the same move that they did last year at the very same time. Last year, because Zack Robinson started off in the booth last year. Game 4, he ended up on the field. So my question is, if he was in the booth and you played him majority on the field, why the fuck is he in the booth again just for you to do the same thing?
Look, we asking all these questions for a guy that we know he ain't got all his marbles. He don't. And anybody disagree with me, I'm gonna be very unapologetic about it. The man does not have all his marbles. He does not understand. He does not understand his position as a head coach. He cares about being light and being passive and allowing whoever, players, coordinators, whatever, do what they want to do. Instead of holding people, instead of, like I said, what is going on? That's the question that we need. What is going on Monday mornings through Saturday night? What's going on?
Right.
We know that to be communication issues, because during practice, everything seemed to be okay until you get on the field.
But here's the thing: you can study for a test, but are you? Because you can study for a test and fail.
I know. I done did that. I passed both tests. Look. I passed both tests not studying, then I passed test studying. I know. Trust me, I know that very well.
It's all about being effective strategies. Are you doing the right drills in practice? Are y'all watching the right film on the opposing?
Right.
Are you game planning, for the right players to go in the game? Like, those are the things that need. Are they doing those things the right way?
Exactly.
And I know people in the comments, and people don't sit up here and try to throw jabs like, "Oh, you don't know what you talking about, bro. I've been a coach. I've been there, done that."
Right. That's taking the check. That's taking the check. That's what he thinking right now. He ain't saying it, but that's what he thinking.
All the blame.
Let me tell you something. NFL, college, high school, middle school, you name it all. It's the same. It's you doing the same thing.
All Tank is doing right now is singing this song right here. Don't mess with my man. I'm gonna be the one to give it to you. He ain't been singing in about 3 days. Now he coming here. Don't mess with my man.
Again, like I said, I've been on that road. It doesn't matter what level you coach. You're putting your team in the best situation to win another day.
Now, this is the question that I have for everybody on the panel right now, and like I said, this universal question: do you think the expectations of what the Falcons should be, not even just this year, but just going back to last year, do you think that this is taking an effect on this coaching staff because this team was expected to do bigger things?
Yeah. He don't know what he's doing. That's why he's stressed out.
Let me give y'all this. This is my hypothesis this is my first time saying this. I don't think Raheem was hired because off. Yeah, it was off familiarity. We know that part, but it wasn't because he was black. I think the front Rich McKay. I'm just going to use Rich McKay. Rich McKay hired this man because he saw that talent on the Rams, and he said, if he can elevate that type of talent to win a Super Bowl, then he should be able to elevate our team. We have all the pieces. We've been working on this roster for 3 years under Terry Fontenot. We got all the pieces. We just need our franchise quarterback, which we drafted the same year Raheem got here, to elevate. That's what I think the Falcons front office, hint Rich McKay, did when he hired Raheem.
That's bullshit. You hired that overdone wannabe cracker because he's a yes man and they can control him.
You're right, Sam. I'm not disagreeing. I'm trying to get into the mind of Rich McKay. I'm trying. If you think about it, that's what I'm thinking. They think that he can elevate. He's not an elevator. He's not. Any one of us on this panel could have went in that 2021 Rams locker room, mainly that defensive side, and won that damn Super Bowl. Coached and won that Super Bowl for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, now we in a situation right now of now everybody's scratching their heads after last week. Is Raheem the right person for the job? We tried to tell you guys he wasn't. So I know a lot of people gonna kind of go back and you don't have to apologize to me about what y'all said a couple of years ago when I was trying to tell y'all Jim Harbaugh would have been better or Bill Belichick would have been better. But that's
he gave Jim Harbaugh more of a chance than a lot of coaches. He gave Bill Belichick and Harbaugh, second and third looks. So it's not out of the question that as far as I'm concerned,
I'm talking about the fan base. They didn't want Bill. They didn't want Jim.
Yeah, because they crackers.
I'm like, you telling me you didn't want a 8-time Super Bowl winning coach or head coach that just won a national championship that just brought back to a university?
They looked at them as white men in a black man's world. That's it. Simple as that.
So basically what Mike is saying is the problem is a lot of people down here in Atlanta, not just the fans, but the media down here,
the media
were more concerned about the public perception aspects of what Raheem Morris brought than what Bill Belichick would have brought. Because you got to think about what Raheem. Raheem is actually a very good political. He's a very good
political. You right?
Yeah, like I say, he's a very media friendly guy. You got to remember with Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris did about 4 or 5 podcast interviews and stuff before he got hired for the job. So his reputation already exceeded him as being a great media guy. Remember, a lot of people have
answer instead of a winner. That's what they do.
And this is where the problem that came into. Like I said, what's going on right now with the Atlanta Falcons right now is actually karma for the city of Atlanta. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Not even just this season. The last 5 years of the Atlanta Falcons franchise is actually karma for the city. The city asked for this shit and they got it, and they are up, and people are upset about it.
Yeah,
it's too much damn drama going on, and it's too much drama going on with this team right now. And the problem is they, like I said, Falcon fans, we as Falcon fans care more about the cult fitting in the culture of the city instead of building a culture of winning. And unfortunately, we haven't had that culture of winning in the last almost 10 years. Like Utah Sports said, we have no identity. Let me ask, like I said, Mike, Don, Sam, let me ask y'all a question. What is the identity of this team?
I'm a,
Don't mess with my
I'm
man.
this. The identity of this team is from night now. It's appeasing his face. That's all it is. They giving what these fans want, and the fans they see that this team has been listening to them about hiring them people or making certain trades, the free agent signings, the draft picks, especially this year's draft picks. Like they giving these fans what they want, and now the fans see that what they asking for is not good. Remember, a lot of people say that it's an old saying. Anything just because it's shining doesn't mean it's gold.
Mm-hmm. And when I say karma, I'm not talking about all Falcon fans, but we're talking about the loudest ones that won't shut the hell up about quote unquote culture.
The one with these platforms and these big social media platforms going on and saying shit.
Saying shit that, well, I need a coach that represents the culture of the city. No, winning precedes culture, regardless of who the hell the coach and the coaching staff is.
Do people even know the culture of Atlanta? Like that's the thing. That's the funny. Because right now I live downtown Atlanta. Ain't nothing but gay folks and white people.
You know lie.
Yeah.
Look, at my old stomping ground, Kirkwood. Look, it ain't nothing but gay folks and white people. Okay, and I made a lot of money off of it.
I'm living in I'm here, something here, and trust me, every time it's white folks. I got a next door neighbor right now. They white.
But they done gentrified the fuck out the city, so there ain't no goddamn culture no more. That shit gentrified.
But it's always been like that, to be honest. Like I said, me staying in Kirkwood, me staying in Summer Hill, one of the things my family staying in Summer Hill, that's where I'm born. But one of the things that we always had for the most part during that time, it was majority black. Yeah, you had some families out there that was white, Hispanic, and whatnot, what we grew up with, but that's what it is. So to a certain extent, Atlanta has always been a kind of a mixed type of city culture and whatnot, but black people have a lot of influence in certain areas of Atlanta back in the day, and they feel as though that Atlanta is still like that, and it's grown beyond just a black city. Because let's be honest, like when you think about Atlanta, the first thing that comes to mind is fucking Freaknik. Let's be real. Like you don't think about no damn Midtown Atlanta. Y'all think about Freaknik when y'all come in. Y'all think about the strip clubs when you come in here. So those are the misconceptions about Atlanta. What drives me insane, because like I said, if you haven't stayed on the east side of Atlanta, the west side of Atlanta, south side, like you can't really tell me that this is just all black, because it's bullshit.
Man, Atlanta's been gentrified since the '96 Olympics, bro. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. This shit been gentrified, so that hot Atlanta shit been dead. But the reason why I say it is because too, we have to get out of, like I said, we have to get into this mindset that We need the Atlanta Falcons to build an identity and have an identity to stick with. We haven't stuck to one identity since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Every year it has changed. It's always something different. And the thing about it is you cannot, like I said, you cannot sustain success if you're constantly changing identities, if you're constantly changing coaches, if you're constantly changing ideas.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Just
right.
stick to it.
And
That's
that's
all.
look at the Chiefs. Everybody after that Super Bowl loss this past year, some Chiefs fans they wanted Andy Reid to fire Steve Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo's still there. He's like, I ain't changing my coach. We don't want three Super Bowls with this man. Why
And
should
they
I
got
fire?
one of the best defense. They playing crazy some good defense already this year.
And the thing about that Super Bowl, that Chiefs defense didn't play bad. That offense just got dominated.
Yeah, and people that don't talk about Patrick Mahomes' performance. He threw what 2 or 3 interceptions in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody want to talk about that though.
That wide receiver core wasn't worth a damn. It was basically, but it's a lot of issues that goes into that. But at the end of the day, they have a coach. They have a plan.
And A137, this right here. This team is built off of Arthur Smith's talent, so technically we have a power running team with a spread offense quarterback, but we choose to be the pistol passing team, so I don't know.
That's always been the case. The spread offense is a well diverse offense. We had Craig, I had Haywood, and our run and shoot offense, so that doesn't matter at all. It's the play calling and understanding when to utilize your players. The spread offense is one of the most unique offenses in football. It's not just one thing. Y'all get this idea that the spread offense is just all about fast wide receivers and speedy wide receivers. That's not what the spread offense is. It's to take advantage of talent.
It's funny that they talking crap about spread offense. Guess who runs that spread offense a lot, especially in his beginning years of being a professional football quarterback?
Cool.
Lamar Jackson.
That's it.
Y'all ain't saying that when he ran it.
So it's a well diverse. The spread offense is not just about fast and speed. It's so many different elements of it. But go back and look at the run and shoot. I mean, with Houston and the Atlanta Falcons, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. The spread offense is not just all about speed, but that right there is because of that son of a bitch in Florida and Utah when he coached in Utah. That stupid son of a bitch created this stupid shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, spread all. Yeah, because that's what Ohio State still run to this damn day. It's all about it's the routes concepts of the receivers. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And they try to confuse. They just try to confuse. They try to confuse the DBs. That's why Michigan. That's why we was like, okay, y'all running this spread offense. Guess what we gonna do? We're just gonna get bigger. We're gonna get bigger and faster defensive linemen just to attack the quarterback.
It's simple as that.
That's all you got to do. If you have a strong front seven, you can stop. You can stop that spread offense.
Yep.
The biggest issue that I had just coming out of this previous game was the simple fact that young quarterback and Michael Penix was shook. Cause everybody keep forgetting that he got hit about 6-7 times that guy at this previous game. So he got hit a lot more than what he used to, which led to that shuddering. And instead of adjusting to it, instead of changing shit up, he kept trying to do the same thing and he kept getting hit, which quickened his clock even more. And that's how the pick six happened, because he panicked and went to the check down guy and they had already read it.
6 games, man.
It's not about play calling. Play calling is not about play calling. Is all about game planning. I wish y'all just stop with this. It's about play calling is about the game plan. If you're game plan, you can't have the proper play calling. It's game plan. It starts with the game plan, y'all. Understanding what your opponent does well and what their weaknesses are. That's how you get to the play call.
And that takes place Monday. That takes place Monday through Sunday. Monday through Saturday.
So it's not the play call. The play call is the end result of bad game planning.
Yeah, that's why we tell people it's the coach issue. We just ain't talking out of our ass. We know they not game planning the right way. When you lose to a team like Carolina 30-0 on the road like that, and you literally just came off a week for beating beating Minnesota, a team that was lost last year. Like, come on now, that there is no continuity with the coaches.
Right. So I'm gonna end it on this note because I know we got Thursday night football on now. But I will say this: the biggest issue that's going on right now is the ability to adapt to the situations at hand. Like I said, this is where your head coach. This is where, like I said, this is where all your coaches have to know how to read the game, read the momentum. Like I said, read the body language of the players and learning how to adapt it justly. Because the thing is, you can like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth first. And like I said, that's where you have to learn how to adapt to the situation. And this is the biggest issue that this coaching staff has right now, as far as even just last year. Even like I said, even in 2024, we had adaptation issues to certain situations, which led from us starting 2024 going from 6-3, starting 6-3 and ending 8-9. So, like I said, man, we got a big game coming up here against Washington. Like I said, Falcons, they have to win. Like I said, for this coaching staff, they have to win this game. And the thing is, if they win this game, a lot of these scrutinies are still going to be there, but it's not going to be as hectic because you'll be starting off a season at 500 before you get to the bye week. Like you said, that's probably what they're waiting on. But the thing is, they cannot lose this game against Washington. Because if they lose this game against Washington, it's going to be the Real Housewives of Potomac in this bitch.
One last thing about Pete is that everybody always build a team to be multifaceted. Everybody does that. Build a team to be multifaceted. But when things go wrong, you have to make that decision as a head coach to focus on one aspect. So everybody has every team that ever is in the league, whether it's college, high school, football, you build your team to be multifaceted. But when you're down, when you can't pass it, when you can't run it, you have to make the decision, and that decision comes from the coaches. Okay, so you can't expect Michael Penix, when he's getting his ass sacked over and over and over and over again, to have all right, Mike, you need to keep passing the ball because you're not passing the ball well. Like, that doesn't make sense. Okay. That's a decision. So the identity comes from the coach, and the coach sets the identity. So when the coach is indecisive of what he wants to do, that's when you get the struggle from players, and that's why you get players like Drake London and Michael Penix and all these guys confidence being destroyed. It's because the coach is indecisive on what he wants to do.
I'm like a motherfucker. But yeah, like Southside here said, even in a press conference, our coaches can't get on the right page. You got Raheem saying one thing, you got Zack saying another thing, and then you got players saying another thing. So right now, the morale in the locker room is more shook than people are letting it on right now. And like you said, winning cures everything. But they're going to have to win this game. I can't believe I'm saying going into week 4, we have a must-win game just for the psyche of the team in week 4.
But I'm glad you brought that up about the players and the coaches. Like, we've been hearing everything as far as the press conference stuff, and everything's not adding up. That just tells me one thing: somebody's lying. But
You know who's telling that lie?
The giggly goof is what Sam was saying.
Look. I'm gonna have to take a page out of the tribal chief's Roman Reigns book. You're lying. Somebody's lying.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're gonna see how this game plays out. Like I said, man, the season's not over for the Falcons. It's not over. But the thing about it is with all the drama that's coming in here, a lot of people are just looking at this situation as like a one big giant what the fuck.
Cluster.
Yeah, clusterfuck, what the fuck, all the above. And the thing,
fuck, him fuck,
bumblefuck, yeah, all that. Bumbleclock. So the thing, like I said, the thing comes down to it is Falcons just, like I said, they got Washington here. They got a bye week. Buffalo on Monday Night Football. Then you got San Fran on Sunday Night Football. So after this Washington game, you got 2 primetime games after this. And the thing about it is, whatever clusterfuck they got going on in the locker room, they gonna have to fix the shit. Because the thing is, you don't want to put that type of performance on primetime games. Because if you put them on primetime games, that's just going to heighten the inevitable. And like I said before, the media, the Raheemathies are slowly, and they already turning on Raheem Morris right now because they haven't led up to the expectations of what this team should be since he's got here. But I'm not going to say too much longer because I want to save it for tomorrow on the ATL Sports Endgame. I don't know if Coach doing the Friday night whistle. So, look, I'm going to let the fellas get their one final thought, and then we're going to get up on out of here and watch the Thursday night football, man. So, fellas, what y'all got?
Well, we said a whole lot today. I see y'all at 5:00 tomorrow, Falcon Friday. Homer and Bart need to get it together.
It damn sure does look like Homer and Bart right now. I ain't gonna tell you no lie.
So, like, share, and subscribe.
Mr. Wide Network.
Yes.
All right, Don, what you got, man?
all I gotta say is, man, is just again, this coming Sunday, don't have your expectations too high. Like, just watch the game. Just watch the game, not as a fan. Just watch the game and just evaluate everything that goes on. Even if you win, just see just see how things go.
Right.
And then we're gonna take it with the bye week, and then we're gonna see whatever happens against Washington. We want to see how we gonna come out that Monday night against Buffalo.
Right.
So I'm not really, and I'm not saying I'm not being optimistic because again, I'm a fan at heart. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is just sit back and just learn and see what's going on. That's all I got to say.
What you got, Mike?
Well, I'm not optimistic. I don't believe shit these dudes saying. They're gonna have to show me something. I don't believe. I just think
You said the wrong phrase, Mike. You did say what was the phrase that you what was your phrase?
I need to see it.
There
Period.
you go.
We need to see it. I don't want to hear all this lip wrestling they doing, this giggle goofing they doing. We need to see it. Period. Point blank.
And Auntie Pam, like I said, I'm gonna do a preview on the Yellow Jackets game this weekend, and like I said, being the OG, we gonna be doing the halftime show for the Jackets game. So, like I said, then be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
So until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
No.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, nigga.
You ain't gotta go home.
But if Raheem can't win games, he gonna have to get the hell up out of here.
And Taking Pooh is mad that everybody is mad at his boyfriend.
Oh man, with my man.
I'm gonna be the one to do you.
That's all.
That motherfucker be singing Jodeci songs to Raheem's picture on his wall, bro. I'm telling you.
That picture on the wall. That picture right next to his bed. He need to grab it.
Right next to the KY and the napkins.
Look. That motherfucker gave us so much hell about us being fans about everybody else on this team. And he had no problem with the criticism on everybody else on this team. But when it comes to his boyfriend, boy, that motherfucker get very, very emotional.
We know why he ain't showing up. We know that. Y'all ain't got to ask these questions. We know
Exactly. He just came in here to check the temperature to see what we were gonna talk about. That's all that shit is about. What? No, here you go. What in the butt?
We got to go.
Don't judge me. I just wish you knew. That's just like you.